Welcome to AMIcast, podcast about Amiga computers. I'm your host, Krzysztof Radzikowski, but call me Krzysztof or Radzik.
Welcome to special episode of AmiCast. I'm forced to record something because the news from the last week or this week or this weekend they are not so good or so nice because there is possibility that Hyperion is let's say dead. It's not confirmed, but more or less it's some dubs are everywhere, and this is enough to read the forums on Amiga internet, and this I think I must comment somehow if I pretend to be a good Amiga podcast. What I can say that this recording will be not so nice because this is, let's say, made in a hot way. So this will be, let's say, version unplugged. So sorry for this. So now let's go to our topic. This means our situation. It's now somehow different because we must think about what happened if the bankruptcy of Hyperion is true or if it's not true. This can change everything and somehow. And when I take a look in the internet, there are a lot of problems, questions, and myself, I have a lot of questions too because I'm AmigaOS 4 user. So I want to know what happened because in future, if I want to buy some new solutions for this platform, it will be nice. And I think the main problem of this. The Hyperion didn't make any official statement. When you go to the website, there is nothing there, and I think this is not this is not professional way of doing business. If this is not true, really, because there are some topics that this is not true. This should be put it on or notice it somehow on the web page. And because now we are talking, everybody are talking about this, and this is the good question: what happened? So there are two options. If this is true, this is, I think, very bad news for AmigaOS, but this is, I think, also very bad news for our other Amiga systems like MorphOS or Aeros. But it can be the good thing too, maybe somehow, because it maybe sounds not so good, but we will theoretically have only two operating systems now from Amiga family, and maybe somehow the guys the developers can talk or can try to find the one way to let's hope make one system for Amiga, for legacy of Amiga, the spirit of Amiga. And maybe this is not so bad in this way, because what is missing in our development of these free systems is the developers, because we have free systems, the small community, and divided by the free operating systems, similar but somehow different. And I see this, that nobody wants to work with each other somehow. So maybe now this is the turning point for everybody, that we must work together to achieve some points, because we must know which points you want to achieve. So there are a lot of guys talking about the changing the platform for Intel, and in somehow it's not so bad because PowerPC processors are very expensive. This means that even the cheapest hardware is very expensive. But more or less, this is let's say we can live with this somehow. But the problem of PowerPC processors now is they are getting slow. Even the newest solution in 2 years will be quite slow. So now, for example, when you take the AmigaOS desktop and you run on your PC or through the VirtualBox, it's let's say some web pages on this web browser are loading much more faster than on PowerPC low-end PowerPCs like cheap hardware like Pegasus or something like this, and this is very sad. So maybe after the bankruptcy of Hyperion, maybe the good way is to move somehow in AROS and to merge the two systems in one or support somehow, because this solve our problem about the platform. Then we can get the cheap platform for everybody. The problem of AROS is of course this is not working out of box on every PC, of course, and this is not so well-made product like AmigaOS or MorphOS. But this is the turning point, so maybe somehow can developers think about this. This is the only about thinking, because we must think about our future somehow, because of course Amiga systems are only hobby OS, but the question is if we only want to stay in this way, that this is only hobby OS, and for the serious task like I don't know, web browsing, we take the iPads, and this is a little bit strange. And the same system, the same situation. Also, let's put it like this: the modern computing is based on web browsing now. So even if I tried, this is about the AROS too, because I heard the AROS can get the Qt. Qt can be ported on this, and in my computer with AmigaOS 4, this is very surprising. By the old web browser from Qt packet, and they can let's say work better than with Google than Odyssey web browser, and this is the problem for us. Another question is if we should develop own browser, or maybe better solution is like what before. Let's try to port something like Firefox, and then we can easier to be updated to our to today's technology. Because now we are quite maybe not in quite bad condition, but the computer without good web browser, for example, web browser is not a computer, or you cannot work all day on this, because it's always something will happen or something like this. So maybe, for example, this Qt is the solution for this. Maybe because I'm not a big fan of not native Amiga programs too, but maybe in some cases we should follow the today technology like Firefox, like web browser. So Qt, it's, let's say, with Firefox is not so easy to port, but Qt is allowing us to port something faster, and this is not working. It's not working bad. It's very nice, and the always problem is the PowerPC processor that is not so updated, and the problem is that the development of PowerPC processor are not so well. That's why a few years ago, maybe more than a few years ago, the Apple moved to Intel's. That's why this is the reason why they moved The second question is about this AROS, for example. I quite like this situation, like it's with the old software. It's made in AROS. This means that the old programs are run in emulator, and this is quite well integrated. The question is if we really need the code in our operating system that is responsible for emulating the old software, because the old software is very old and more or less you don't use it almost at all. And when we see this situation like was happening a few weeks ago, that Aeon bought the Aladdin 4D or ImageFX, this is the chance that it will be ported or it will be natively available natively on PowerPC systems. That's why maybe we don't need really the 680 key code in our system, because for old games we have other solution, and this means emulation. So maybe this is the other point to think about this. So the my thinkings are about this. What we can do if the worst case scenario will happen, and if not, let's hope not. What we can do. This is the same situation. What we can do, how we can support Hyperion in this way, if this is not true, if they will alive this situation, because now these free camps and the fights between free camps are not good, and that's why we are not so the Amiga community or hardware or whole family is not developing so well, because we have free camps. This is science fiction very well, very much to have one operating OS for our community. Probably never happened, but at least maybe we can start to work together, with everybody, because I think this is possible to have the one team responsible for example, Odyssey web browser, and the one team is developing this Odyssey web browser, and it will be much more faster development, like because Odyssey web browser is quite old, and now then you can heard that that the guys have the problem with Google, there's some problems like for example Blogger is not working in Odyssey anymore, and you get some problems in logging in some Google let's say app programs. So if this can be better if we have one team that develop this and the port for the free system. The same, this is about the Magic user interface. We are developing the free version. This means the AmigaOS and MorphOS, and the AOS have let's say the different version, but somehow compatible with the let's say main system, because the AOS is not so popular even in our small community. Maybe it's nice to have the one team that will develop this and then port this to these free systems. So this is I think this is the good point to think about this. And I saw the tweets in forums are quite big, and I talked with the guys in Poland too about the situation, and I think there is or we don't have so much will to work together, and maybe now it's time to think about our future, because if something bad happens, and now nothing is clear, theoretically what I heard is everything will be good, but like I said, there is no official statement, and this is very bad that this is no official statement. If something happens bad and this is not true, I will put on my web page that this is this is not true. We are doing the best, and we will give you the information as soon as possible. And the only information that we get this is the forums, not official way. So The good question is how to manage this whole situation and how to manage if something bad happens, and how to manage this is the whole situation if something good happens. Let's say the Hyperion will be okay, but more or less we should more focus on our future, and I think we should also more focus on to have some standards in our Amiga systems, because the only native programs are not enough to be updated to these days. The whole development of these days of the modern computing is not like was in 90s. The 90s is past. The old software is also nice to have the old games, and all Lightwave. But what you can do on for example, on old Lightwave, nothing. You can use Blender, and again the Blender on AmigaOS 4 is quite old. It's good. It's much more updated than, for example, Lightwave. But this is old, and the whole development is so slow. And we are getting older. We are not getting the new users. So I'm really a little bit, let's say, terrified about this. And I would like to have some better news and some suggestions from you what we can do. Maybe we can talk with everybody. I will be happy about this situation if people will start to talk about our development, because in my opinion we are only one company from the old times. Before was Amiga, before was the Atari, and for example Sega, and only Amiga is still alive in after let's say 20 years. It's 20 years or 40 years, and it still is here. But we must know our future, or the target in our future, what to do, because if we want to only make the hobby OS, maybe the hobby OS could be the classic Amiga. It's enough hobby OS, but if you want to push our development and push Amiga a little bit more, this probably will never be mainstream OS, whatever it will be, the official way or not official way, or errors Intel way, or something maybe new. Maybe it's the best way to take this free, mix them and make the new operating system for maybe new platform that you can buy a cheap laptop or in your store, and then put your DVD there and install this, and this will be nice. So we must know and focus on our future, not only on hobby OS, and I hope this situation will be good for us, that we can work together, and yeah, this is what I know. This is very hard to record only by myself here, and to talk to my iPad alone. But I want to put my mind here, what about this hard situation. So let's see what happened. I think I will keep you updated somehow, and I hope I can help somehow, maybe to communicate. If someone wants to talk and have some ideas, it would be nice to share this, and together we can figure out the solution to this situation and make it better. So thanks, and I hope the next special episode will be better, with better news. Thanks, and bye.
It was AmiCast, podcast for all Amiga users.